Travis, open it.
What? Why me?
You're the nerd of the group. You're guaranteed to make it to the second act.
Oh, yeah. Well, Frank is a nerd, too. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. Way more nerd than me.
Whoa. Let's not make it a competition, okay? We're all friends here. And Travis has way more vinyl.
Fuck it, I'll open the door. Jesus Christ.
Oh, hey, Camille.
Oh shit, it's Camille.
What the fuck is going on? I was on my way to an audition and suddenly I ended up here.
Yeah, same thing happened to us. We've been stuck here for 6 months doing a podcast.
Camille, you're gonna want to sit down. We're about to watch a movie.
Welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast where we discuss horror movies, slasher movies. We have a couple of sidebars and a lot of rambling. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm Frank, and nobody's supposed to be here.
And before we discuss our latest movie, let's do a little catch-up, little rowdy catch-up. A rowdy catch-up.
Oh, I thought that was a 1 week only thing.
I
do not
forgot
want to be
about
part of
that.
this.
One night
I was thinking
only.
about it over the car ride. I mean, while I was in the cabin, and I was like, I hope we don't do that again.
Wait.
It's a rowdy catch-up.
I hate both of
a
those.
rowdy
Happening.
catch-up. All right, let's just talk then.
Wait, you need to combine Wowdy Ketchup and the song.
It's a rowdy catch-up. A
my
rowdy catch-up.
And we just lost all our
that
subscribers.
gets rowdy.
You know what?
It's not a mustard. It's not a Welsh.
It sounds-
It's a rowdy catch-up. A rowdy catch-up.
You know what? You know
not
what
a
that
Welsh.
sounds like? That sounds like you're at a movie theater and it's after Let's All Go to the Lobby. It sounds like that would play right after.
Where the hot dog is like jumping out of the
Did
bun
you know
and
they
coming
have
back
that
in.
on Hulu?
Oh,
They
they
have-
do?
Travis.
I know. I'm like,
No. Oh,
I'm-
you
You
sorry.
don't like what?
yeah.
Egging her on?
Yes.
Go ahead, Sam.
I forgot. It's on
Please,
Hulu.
for the
That's
love
all.
of God.
The pre-show.
What's on Hulu?
that?
Oh,
The-
Let's Go Out to the Lobby.
They have all those
I love it.
pre-shows. And
When I
like,
was a kid, they would have them the drive-in between movies. They would do that, and the hot dog, like in Greece, the hot dog
Yeah.
would jump out of the bun.
you were
and
there
back
when
in.
That's exactly it.
You
yeah.
were there when you were
They would
new,
dance.
right?
Anyway, so Rowdy Ketchup
Did they
starts
project
now.
the movies onto the dinosaurs, or were they...
Actually, we would strap the projector on the back of the dinosaur.
Okay.
So was this
So it was a moving picture
by-
because the pictures were actually like they were just
By-
well, you know, they're on the cave walls.
Timer's
by
on,
drive-in?
by
Yeah,
the
by
way.
drive-in, you mean cave paintings. You
That's
told the
exactly what
shadow
I mean.
puppets. You guys
Okay,
actually-
what did we do this week? Actually, I'm going to start.
Please do.
This is not what I did this week, but I teased it last
What
week.
did you do this summer?
I teased it. So, many years ago, I did a commercial for a pizza company. I'll leave the name of the company out, but I did a pizza commercial.
Were they in a hut?
It was not in a hut. And
I was going to go somewhere else with
Okay, go.
Sorry.
so when I went to the callback, I was in the lobby, and the cast director comes out and says, "Okay, so like these guys who are directing it, they're like brothers, and it's like really cool because they did created and direct Arrested Development, which was on TV." And I thought, "Oh, that's cool. I don't know who they are, but that's cool." So I went into the callback. They were in there. I had a really good time, and I booked the job. So I did this commercial, and while I was shooting it, what happens in commercials sometimes is while you're there shooting it, they'll suddenly decide to split this job, so it turns into 2 commercials. So it becomes like 2 contracts. So they write another contract right on the set, and you're all of a sudden doing, I'm doing 2 spots.
Nice.
So I did the whole thing. I totally forget about this completely because I got cut out of the commercial.
Oh no!
So for
For
me,
both?
yes. So I was like one of the. I don't want to tell you what the spot was. I was just like a reaction shot. So it's always a little, you
Iffy.
may not make it. But anyway, I totally forgot about it. And then I was listening to the podcast I like to listen to, Smartless, and those guys were on, the Russo Brothers. And as they were talking about their early years and Arrested Development, oh yeah, we did a couple commercials. And I'm going, holy crap! I worked with the Russo Brothers.
Do you remember anything else?
No,
Like how they were?
That's mine. Oh, they were very funny. They were very.
Was it a paintball commercial?
It was a pizza commercial.
Well, they were paintballing, and I'm talking about Community here. That's why they also did Community.
Your jokes are so
It's not a
far
joke. It's a
off.
reference.
Anyway,
So far off.
That's my
It's
still.
an
story.
homage, okay?
Homage.
that's
Sorry.
my story.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
Yeah,
so
it is.
weird
That's
though,
cool.
because I completely forgot about it, and then I never even connected Russo Brothers
Did
with
you- I
Infinity
feel like
War.
we
Did
can
you also get
search-
cut? Oh,
I feel like we can search it up on YouTube. Just
Probably.
did you also get?
Just like we searched his Beetleborgs episode.
Oh yeah.
Big bad
So
Beetleborgs.
Dan, so you also got cut. You booked an Avengers movie, then it turned into 2 Avengers movie, Infinity
you
Game
cut-
and
and I got
Endgame,
dropped out
and
of
then you
both
got
of
cut
them.
out of both of them.
Well, that was just a reaction shot.
yeah.
It's the big battle scene, and it cuts
It
to
was just
Dan, and
me,
he's
like,
like,
wide-eyed and pointing at Captain
It
America.
was, you know,
No, it was the pizza commercial
It was-
reaction shot.
yeah.
Just
he's
spliced
playing the
in there.
same character.
Yep, mhm.
Or it was one of those like TV spots for the movie where it was like you were the guy in the theater with the popcorn, like whoa, like those audience ones. It's like
The AMC one, the
Oh.
guy dropped his popcorn.
that guy was big on the internet for no reason.
He's still big in it.
I
Yeah, he's
remember.
still there.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
still big. On the internet.
wow.
Sorry, that was a
No.
weird place to pause that sentence.
Yeah.
I realize
Because
that
it
now.
really changed the whole meaning
Uh-huh.
behind
Like that.
the sentence.
okay.
Also, we're at 6 minutes, guys.
Oh,
we
what
have
did you
6
do?
minutes left.
Anybody jump in.
I worked.
Tell me
and
a
that's
story.
it.
I started.
Very good.
I randomly was. I watched randomly 2 child play movies. I watched Bride of Chucky, which I've seen, and then I watched the first Chucky movie again. I think it's because I kind of want to. I've heard good things about the TV show.
It's very good.
Yeah, so I'm kind
heard
of
that
like
too.
I'm trying to like.
Campy, but it's good.
Yeah, no, I hear it's very good.
It's on sci-fi, right?
I hear it's very inclusive.
He's saying it's gay.
You're saying that, but I support it.
Ally.
It's very supportive and tolerant
Yes.
What'd you do, Frank?
It is.
and diverse.
Oh, what did I do?
What didn't he do?
I'm scared.
I didn't do much, but I did
A lot.
watch Fast X.
You left the
Fast
cabin
X.
to go watch Fast 10. You told me you were just getting firewood.
Yeah.
Fasten your
I,
X.
Fasten your seatbelts.
I thought you would have realized it when I was gone for 3 hours.
Well, you know,
But these 3 hours were magical.
Dolby?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Going into it, I thought it was gonna be disappointing. Like, Dan, you've not seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, have you?
Not one.
but you see
Okay.
Point Break.
You.
I have no interest.
So
Lucky you.
you like action movies. So you
I do.
5. So the first 3 are street racer movies. The first 4 really, but with starting with 4 a little bit, and then 5 they turn into heist movies. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a really strange part to like point to start, but 5 is honestly one of the better, if not one of the best heist movies I've seen. It's very ridiculous and over the top, but it's very, very effective at being an action movie. It's just a very good action movie.
I don't remember 5. I really don't.
It's with the vault. It's with the vault.
It's with-
Oh,
yeah.
that's when it got ridiculous
Yeah.
for me.
Yes, but that was still grounded. They get even
Yeah,
more
the safe
ridiculous.
was grounded for sure.
Oh yeah.
They go into space and
In 9 they had a magnet plane.
Literally,
Yeah,
they
and they
go
go
into
into
space.
So, and they go into space
in an old space suit.
in a car
And then they mention minions.
with yeah.
Because
So, yeah, they took a Fiero out into space.
In 8 they raced a submarine, a nuclear
Yeah.
submarine
That's right,
in
that's right.
Antarctica.
And then they
Yes.
jumped mountains.
Yes, they did. No, they also jumped skyscrapers in 6.
And then Hobbs and Shaw.
7. That was 7, wasn't
Hobbs and Shaw, The Rock pulls down 2 helicopters.
Oh yeah,
with
what's
his
7?
bare hands.
it?
Yes. Oh, and he
Wow.
also redirected a torpedo in 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it
Yes,
too
yes,
in
yes.
the last one?
With his hands as
Isn't
well.
it also in 9 where they're getting like dragged, so they're in midair and they're
Yeah.
getting dragged, and he hits
Yeah.
reverse, so it pulls it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't they get magnetized somewhere and they swung around?
That was I believe that was 9.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the opening for 9.
9 was the most ridiculous one ever.
Didn't
That
they?
was before he
10
got to
gets
space.
even more ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Didn't
guess-
they
thank
boot
God.
The Rock off the series at some
No,
point?
there was a beef between two. It was 2 main dudes, Vin Diesel and The Rock.
I thought, if I know the story correct, didn't The Rock kind of call him out? Like,
Yeah.
hey, buddy, grow up. You're
Yes.
messing everybody else up.
Yeah.
Show up on time and do your job.
Yes. He was not in 9.
And that's
But-
where we're going to leave it off at.
Yes.
Because Vin Diesel was like, my brother, we're starting to act in, or to start filming in Fast 10. Come back. And The Rock's like, no.
But anyway, the villain
I'm doing Jungle Cruise too. I can't do Fast X.
The villain in 10 is played by Jason Momoa, and I will tell you now, he is the best villain in the series.
He looks
He's
like
so
he's
much fun.
unhinged.
He's chaotic, evil, bit like gleeful. It's like if they put the Joker in the Fast and Furious series.
Which kind of Joker?
I would say a little bit of Mark Hamill with a little bit of Heath Ledger.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very. Like, there was like one scene in particular that was kind of dark that involved dead bodies and
Ooh.
speaking to them. That was very like surprisingly like, oh, okay, for sure.
He almost made me want to watch Fast 10, but then
Honestly, I would
common sense. No, thank you.
I would say if he's the only reason why you want to watch it, just wait till it's out on
Past
streaming,
11.
and then
And
watch.
12 and 13.
Just watch all of his scenes. I personally
I
think.
can YouTube it, huh?
Yes.
Is
I-
it-
Jason Momoa
is-
scenes.
Is it
Fasten
the
your
most
seatbelt.
successful franchise of all?
It's
I've heard that
Universal's. It's Universal's
Universal's,
biggest
yeah.
franchise.
Oh, it's Universal's.
It's,
Okay.
yeah. The last couple of films, I think,
I
either
think
got close or
7
made
or 8.
7 for sure. I think made over $1 billion.
It did.
Oh,
I
wow.
think 8
Yes.
did. I think 8 also made over a
Yeah.
billion, and then I think it started to, I think 8 made a little less, 9 made a little less, but I think this one, like, domestically, it didn't make as much as they hoped, but I think, like, internationally, it's killing.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me that overseas Fast X is in 3D?
Yes. So
I
was
feel
9.
like overseas gets a lot of
Overseas
3D
gets a
stuff
lot of
that we
3D.
don't get. But here's the thing about the Fast series that it goes back to the whole Jason Momoa thing is they bring in some actors that like I never would have guessed would want to be in this, but they have a lot of fun playing. Like
I mean, Gal Gadot was in it.
Gal Gadot was in it, but Helen Mirren is in
The mom.
yeah, she's so fun.
I like
and then,
her.
and then
they have what's it called?
Kevin Hart was
Kevin Hart was in
Hobbs and Shaw.
Kevin Hart was in Cobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, he played like an
Jason
agent.
Statham's fun in this.
Yeah.
I love Jason Statham.
Yeah, he's very he's fun in the series, but he's not in it too much.
Right.
Like I said,
Uh-huh.
Helen Mirren,
Ryan
in
Reynolds.
8,
Hobbs and
Charlize
Shaw.
Theron plays the villain,
I don't remember. I
and she
blocked it
comes
out.
back for 9 and for this.
I feel like she was a very bland villain.
Yeah, that was the big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can tell she's having fun with it.
Oh, okay, good.
Especially with this last one, she you know, the thing about the Fast and Furious series is if you don't die, you just get
Brought back.
brought in to the family of sorts, and
It's
it
like a
just gets
soap
bigger
opera.
and
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah.
It's because
9 minutes
it's
or 9
because
seconds.
Vin Diesel is a huge Dungeons and Dragons player. He plays it, so each character levels up in the movie,
All
which
right,
is why
well-
they can be ridiculous. As
Who is it? Time to end the rowdy catch-up. Oh, okay. Be right there.
But yeah, if you have an afternoon to kill, you don't need to watch any of the other ones. They pretty much explain everything to you when you need it
10?
to know. Yeah,
In the first hour, it's just
I could
recap.
just do 10.
yeah, you could just do 10.
You just won't know
Yeah.
who any of them
fasten
are.
your
You
seatbelt
won't-
and watch Fast 10.
All right. I might do it.
Everybody that's listening, please, it's a drinking game. Every time Travis makes that lame joke, take a shot.
Fast 10, your seatbelts.
How about the intense? Do we have to
Extends?
drink then, too?
I don't know what you're talking
They
about.
probably blacked out at this point.
That was intense.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's get into the movie we saw last week and introduce our special guest. Our first time to have a guest on our podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Camille.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for
Camille.
having me.
Of course.
Do we need any kind of an introductory sort of thing on Camille? Do we need any background?
Yeah, Camille,
Give us a little background.
tell us about yourself. Tell
Oh
us
my
about
gosh.
Who are you?
Throw in any
who am
plugins,
I?
any plugins you have. Any
Recently moved to LA or back to LA.
Yeah, recently moved back to LA from Georgia. I just graduated from SCAD in production design for theme parks and attractions.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I've known Frank for.
Several years, over a decade at this point.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not that old, please. I will be forever 21 plus 2. So I've known Frank for only 2 years.
And
The
she,
math.
she never looked. She never looked for him once when he went missing in this cabin.
No, we've been here for several months, but it's okay.
She had to come looking for us. How else did she get here?
I got a
She just
tip.
needed your Netflix password. That's it.
But yeah, and so I like horror, and so here I am.
Yeah, you're
And-
also a scare actor.
I am, or I was.
Is that-
I
wait,
was.
How do you
scare
pronounce
actor.
it?
Scare actor.
Or scare actor?
Scare
Or
actor,
scare
scare
actor.
actor, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah,
Sounds like raptor.
I've worked in the haunt community for a while, and I love it. So anything horror, spooky is my jam.
Which is perfect for the movie we're about to discuss. Read the log line, Travis, and let's see if we can guess what the name of this movie is.
New York's Scariest Haunted House Tour.
That's it?
That's it.
That's the log line? Okay, let me think. Log line, it's got maybe, Hell House, LLC.
Hell House Limited Liability Company.
There you go. All right, 2015.
Read the synopsis.
5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes the death of 15 tour-goers and staff on the opening night of a Halloween haunted house tour, a documentary crew travels back to the scene.
That's pretty good.
Let me see.
I would say that covers it pretty well.
You gotta get used to this. Come on, they just make fun of me for like an hour and a half every
It's
week.
fine.
Everything I say becomes memeified. And
So let's do this, staying in order with our show. Let's go around and we will give our pre-thoughts before we saw the movie, what we thought the movie was going to be like or about, or if you knew anything about it. I can start if you want, or I can end.
Yes, please.
Okay, I have no
no
thoughts.
to end.
I have no thoughts. I never heard of this movie. I guess the only thing, the title made me think this is probably going to be a pretty bad house to hang out in.
And Dan, afterwards, you wished you'd still never heard about this movie.
I have not said that.
I know, I'm
I
just
am
kidding.
not going to the end. But no, I really didn't. I mean, Hell House just kind of made me go, okay, well, this is not going to be pleasant. But the LLC totally threw me. Okay, go ahead, Travis.
Yeah.
Pre-thoughts.
Okay, so my pre-thoughts were one day I opened up Amazon Prime and I said, oh, House LLC, what is this? Play.
There you go.
That's the shortest.
And you are done. Sam,
That's the
what were
least
your...
amount of thoughts he's had in a while.
I'm sure he'll make up for it.
I think Travis told me about it, and then I also was like, Hell House LLC, play.
I mean, what else could you think with the title? It's like, okay, what is this?
Exactly. Camille?
I actually didn't know the title, but it was recommended to me a few months ago. My final project was to create a whole haunted house from concept to with all of the specs. And somebody was like, hey, have you seen this horror movie? And I was like, no. So when I read the title, I was like, oh, I put two and two together. So I was really excited to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank.
I literally got told about this movie when we were coming up with what haunted house movie to watch.
Like recently?
Yeah. When we were coming up with the programming at the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I had like a different suggestion, and they were like, "Oh no, this is better," and I was like, "Okay, we'll see where this
Okay,
goes."
Wait, what was the other suggestion? The
The
original?
house is October built.
Oh yeah.
And we also
didn't I say, wasn't I the one that said,
Is-
hey, let's do Hell House
Yes.
instead?
Yeah, actually, I don't think you said this is better. I think you
Yeah,
said
let's do this
let's
one.
do this one instead.
I blame Travis.
So
Travis wants
I'm
like
I blame him
I
too.
got a funny story about these pre-thoughts. So a couple days
That's
ago.
hilarious.
See, I made it long now. So
Yeah.
about a few days ago, I was talking to Dan on the phone, or he texted me or something, and he goes, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna have Camille on the show. You know, she does haunted houses, and then Dan goes, oh, is it connected to the movie? I'm like, Hell House LLC, and Dad's like, I don't get it. I'm like, have you seen the movie yet? And he's like, no. It's like, it's a movie called Hell House LLC, and he goes, yeah, okay. I go, do you know what an LLC is? He goes, no. I'm like, you know, business limited liability company. He goes, yeah. I go, okay, Hell House LLC, and he goes, I don't get it. I was like, I'm not gonna tell you about the movie, but it'll make sense. Within
This
the
is an
first 5
actual
minutes.
conversation. It's 100% true. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's why Camille's coming. What? Why?
I was like, the movie's called Hell House LLC.
LLC.
Limited Liability Company.
There you go.
And then
And
I got
here we
the
are.
text from Frank at like 12. He goes, no one told me there was clowns in this movie.
Wait, was that serious?
Yes, I was serious.
Oh my
And then he
god.
sent
I
me a
don't like
picture.
clowns.
Oh.
I don't like clowns either.
No, you know what?
I
Does
used to
anybody
have,
really
I-
like clowns?
No.
I used to have a fear of it. Now I'm okay.
I have a very specific other related phobia that was in this movie.
What?
It's when supposedly inanimate objects start moving.
Oh, there you go.
I hate both of those
yeah,
things.
That's
yeah,
the whole
yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So when the clowns showed up, what
That was
was
great.
your first reaction?
I thought, I don't want to give a spoiler, but I thought someone would just take the costume. I didn't assume that the other thing was going to happen, and then it started happening. And I hate
sorry.
you all.
I'm sorry.
So
I didn't know.
It's okay.
we should. I mean, I don't think we need to summarize any more than we did. It's pretty straight up.
We're actually done with the podcast
I don't
now.
know that we really need to. I mean, do whatever you want. I don't know if we need to walk through this scene by scene, but I guess we should try to keep it in some kind of order. I would just like to start by saying I don't have a ton of notes on this movie.
Me neither.
I will say what I really did like about it. You know, we've seen a few mock documentaries recently, or not just recently, over the course of our podcast. And I think, yes, on one level, it's another one of those found footage movies. But what I liked about this one was that it mixed news footage with a documentary crew, with interviews, and then some found footage. So it wasn't just like Blair Witch, where we're just dropping into found footage and that's all we have to hang on to for the entire movie. And we can talk about Blair Witch from a marketing standpoint. It was genius. The movie gave me a headache. But it was a genius marketing campaign. But this movie had other elements, had other layers to it to sort of build around it. So I appreciated that. It kind of gave me more to hang on to besides just rocky, found footage.
And you didn't get the intro where it was like, this tape was found on the scene at
Right.
this,
well,
like...
I did also like the fact that it kind of starts right when things are happening, and then we go back to that moment. And I get circles back to that, and that's sort of where Act 3 kicks off, is that moment. At least that's how I kind of felt where Act 3 started. So that's something I really did like, or appreciated about the way the movie was made. That's all I have to say at this point about that.
I agree. I think for me, if you don't really think much about it, you kind of get lost into the whole introduction of it.
Yeah.
And this is my second time watching it. Actually, no, third. I think it's third. But I know. I always enjoyed the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the thing I really appreciated about that, the YouTube video specifically, is that it really does feel like one of those, we're going through a haunted house video. Like it's got a very genuine quality about it that really helps, pull you into it. I do have some problems later with a certain thing, especially a certain setup in the third act, that I was kind of like, but for the most part, that first act especially, it's really good at being genuine.
Yeah.
Which I think really helps overall.
I think it sets up really well in the first act.
Agreed.
Travis, did you have any thoughts? Or Camille?
I'll go second.
Camille looks like
Well,
she
no,
wants to say something.
we've already had gone third. You'd be fourth.
So I did appreciate that it was like you said, that it was a mixture of different footage, because as far as found footage film, Blair Witch will still be at the top. That and another movie called VHS. It's really cool. Those movies, like when you do found footage, it's really easy to just step in the same pattern and make your viewers bored. Like there's only so much you can do. So I did appreciate all of the newscast and how it kind of like went from the past to the present. And it kind of jumbled in the beginning where you're like, wait, what am I actually watching? Is this the past? Is this the present? And then it dives into it. So I did appreciate that. Are we saying what we like?
No, Travis?
No, I agree with just kind of what everyone's saying. I don't know, like, this was my...
I'm going to tape your face to the mic.
Here we go. This was my third time watching this movie as well. And I find it scary every time I watch it. It's one of, like, the only kind of films that, I don't know why, that scares me. I think it's unsettling. I think it just does a really good job with, obviously we can tell it's this movie. It's most of it's one location, not a lot of budget. I just think it's very creative in the way where it's like, hey, we're going to make this movie. We don't have a lot of money. We don't have money for effects, not a lot of makeup. And it just
movie props.
Yeah, movie props. And it just, the props in the maze are the same ones we're going to use. These are not just props for the maze. It's props for our movie. And I don't know. I just like that. I think it didn't rely on a lot of jump scares in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it had its own style of jump scare.
And it had its, and it was the one that was really subtle. Like the part, I think it freaks me out every time. I'm going ahead a little bit. Is when
I think that's fine.
The character Phil, when he's laying in his bed, and is talking, and then the girl or whatever kind of walks up.
Yeah.
See, that's
you mean in the doorway?
Yeah, with the doorway.
No,
that was
cool.
You guys have
First
two
of
different
all,
ones.
Who sleeps with their door open?
Not me.
like the whole time I'm watching this,
No.
I'm like, what?
My closet doors has to be closed.
Everything has to be shut.
Bathroom
Everything
door closed.
Thank you.
I'm a really super wimpy guy. I found like watching like these kind of movies. I'm not staying in that house.
No.
I would have.
I'll be in the van. You guys have a good time.
I literally said that. Like, I watched it with a friend last night, and I was like, I would have been gone already. Like, this is the Eddie Murphy sketch, like Haunted House. I
love that sketch.
I would've-
too bad we can't stay.
that would have been me.
It's
Like, bye.
absolutely, and it's like that scene. As soon as the clown moves one time, I'm out of here.
Not even the weird piano with nobody playing it. I think
yeah.
that was the first instance
I'm
where
out.
something
Yeah.
really weird happens. The
Yeah,
piano
in the middle of the
I
night.
would have been like, "Bye guys, see ya."
It
I
would
have
been
to
like
tell you guys.
It would have been like Looney Tunes. I would have had my outline in the wall.
Seriously,
I would have
yes.
been out of there.
I have to tell you a story.
Yes.
So today, because they're working out in the redoing our Alps den, while you guys
I don't
were
like
all out
this.
digging.
I don't like where this is going.
No.
Hey, Frank,
So-
did Dan always have this clown doll?
Okay,
not even
Travis,
Go
turning
fuck
around.
yourself,
I'm gonna
Travis.
I'm going to tell a story now.
And I'm gonna listen.
So I'm back in our office working. Well, the power goes on and off in different parts because they're working the electrical stuff. And so I'm working, and all of a sudden I hear my piano.
Oh my
Ding,
god.
ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. And I stop, and I'm like, no way. I mean, maybe the cats are walking across, but I don't think it's open. So I walk out, and I look, and the lid is closed. So no, I go back. I'm working. About 10 minutes later, I hear the piano. Ding, 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 boom. I get up. I walk past it. One of the workers is in the den. I said, "Did you hear that?" He goes, "Yeah, I did. I don't know what it is though." I goes, "It sounds like my piano." He goes, oh, "Okay."
Burn the house down.
So then I
Burn
go,
it down
I'm
and
like
leave.
really like going, "This is effing me."
Dan's
So
House
then
LLC.
I'm in the kitchen, and I hear it again. You know what it was?
A ringtone.
It was my Google going on and off with the electrical every time it reset itself. And once I heard it, it didn't sound anything like a piano. But when I was in the den or in the office, it sounded like a piano to me.
Yeah,
That
no.
scared the you-know-what out of me.
Even then, that's scary. Google, Alexa, all that stuff. My Alexa in my den, and also in the Alps, would go off randomly. It'll play music.
We get cell service up here.
Yeah. So yeah, I get you. That's scary. Or
It-
it'll talk. I don't know it.
It made my afternoon.
I always
Kinda
said
scary.
horror movie trope that's really scary are baby monitors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Works every time. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
But that's a whole other movie.
Ring cameras too.
Well, not necessarily
Meg
ring
Thregan.
cameras, but
M3.
Didn't
Paranormal
they use
Activity
one?
in the third one, I
They
think,
do that,
or
right?
is it the second or third one used a baby monitor
I think
in
it's the
one of the
second one.
That's the
I've
second
only
one.
seen the
Second one?
first
Yeah.
one.
Works
Yeah.
so well. No, the
I
third
agree.
one was the oscillating fan camera
Yes.
thing that was
That
absolutely
one took forever.
brilliant.
That one took forever. But anyway.
For those of you who are keeping notes, we saw a movie called Hell House, LLC.
Limited liability company.
Wait, Dan, I don't want to like piggyback off of your story, but I'm gonna.
Please
so, like the thing with my houses is that every time we move into a new house, we've had 3. There's some kind of activity there.
Is it paranormal?
Yes. So this week, it's funny because things that are related to whatever like movie we're watching, and like typically happen the week that we have to watch them. Maybe it's
charming.
just me looking at things differently, but this happened to my husband. He was at home alone, and he was watching TV, and he said he heard what sounded like a body drop
Stop.
in the hallway. He runs out, sees nothing. Looks at every single drawer, see if anything fell, if the modem fell.
Also
no,
burn that house
everything's
down.
fine. Everything
That's what I'm
was
saying.
fine.
Dan,
Burn
But the
it
thing
down
is,
and leave.
every night when I go to sleep and I'm outside, I always feel like something is watching or right behind me right before I walk into my room. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
So for
but
Christmas, I'm getting you all the sage there is in the
I was
world.
about to say,
No.
do we need
Every
a call?
cent.
it's
Yeah.
been like this for
priest
several years.
or-
I'm used to it.
Oh, okay. Like, hey, what's
Okay,
up?
but being used to it and it being
Real?
good
Yeah.
or healthy is maybe not. Like, I don't know.
That's fair. I never thought about it that way.
But you believe in paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And you obviously too, Camille?
yeah.
Camille?
Yeah.
Camille? Camille?
Yeah, my family is
Dan, the
is
door's over
very
there.
into. I've never experienced things, but my cousin like constantly like calls me and she's like, "I swear, like I'm not going crazy. This just happened." And so it's over the years of having family witness it.
It's just a part of life for certain people.
Yeah.
It's so ingrained in not just our culture as a like your culture. It's a part of it too, right? Like it's just a thing.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really. What's the word? We don't really deny that it exists or like try to go
Yeah.
out and prove it.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
It's a day-to-day thing. It happens.
I don't have an opinion about whether I believe in it or don't believe in it. I just know that sometimes stuff happens, and I just kind of immediately kind of write it off as, well, I don't know what that was. But, I mean, I'm not going to go there, in other words, because that's just not where my head
I
can.
always try to.
What happened to me today with Google? I mean, I was convinced that somebody was playing my piano.
So at work, we have like Halloween parties and stuff. So last year, one of our crew members brought in a Ouija board.
Uh-huh.
And
Absolutely
I don't
not.
touch
luckily,
Ouija.
luckily I was not there. So I found out afterwards. I was like, burn it now. Throw it out, burn it. And he's like, why do I need to burn it? I'm like, you don't know what's going to happen? Just burn it. And yeah.
Do it.
So
Absolutely not.
One time I was staying at someone's house.
Microphone.
In the mic,
no.
anytime,
I know.
Travis, in
No,
the mic.
I'm facing
What is
the
this,
microphone.
episode
You're not
55?
facing the
I'm facing-
microphone.
I'm
You're on
lined
the
up.
side.
I'm lined up.
We need to get him like horse blinders or something.
Can you just get like
I'm talking
the
now.
Yeah.
like the PA mics?
I'll hold it. Talk.
I'm done. Story's over.
Tell
Good.
us your scary
So
story.
then-
That's hilarious.
So my favorite part of the movie. Are you gonna freaking go or not?
I'm done.
All right, cool. So I've seen this movie 3 times, and my one favorite scare was also with Phil, but not the woman walking behind, but like maybe the 4th time that he recorded. And at first you don't see anything, but then you see a girl sitting
Oh yeah,
next
yeah.
to the bed.
Oh yeah, but then
And yeah,
He
yeah.
covers
And then
himself?
he covers, and then you know how your
Yeah,
trope.
that was goofy.
But no, I do that too. When I'm scared, I
No,
go
but
under the
wait.
covers.
You're
Okay.
safe. You're like safe.
Hold on. But like with your trope of the baby monitor, my thing is I can't stand when someone puts the covers over you because when I was young I used to watch my mom made me watch The Grudge.
That's
So
great.
there was that
What
one
is it
scene. It was that one scene with the
That
bed
horrible sound.
covers, and the Grudge girl was like at the bottom of the bed. So I've been traumatized ever since then. So anytime there's a scene of someone with their covers over them, I freak out.
Yeah.
So that made me even more scared. First, the girl was scary herself, and then the whole bed covers, because you don't know what's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
then when he finally removed it, she was right there.
This is the
See?
one where he got attacked by her.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's
Yeah.
what I like.
Yeah.
The pacing
Oh.
in that was really good,
I thought
actually.
that,
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
thought the pacing was great and the camera work too behind the sheet. Just the way they covered the whole thing as it being like a like raw footage sort
Yeah.
of thing. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to me it wasn't like a jump scare. Like they could have had it where he just like looks up and she's right there and going jump scare. But it's the tension of like you see someone sitting there in the shadow and then he notices her and then she turns and looks and comes towards her. I don't know. Like you said, the staging. I thought the blocking was done very well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just that uncomfortable and stuff just kind of going on like in the background. Like there's the scene where like he's walking. I think one of the characters is walking and he sees the clown on the stairs. He goes and then he comes back down
And it's no longer
And it's
there.
no longer
Yeah.
there. Just to me, and that's I think what kind of freaks me out because I think kind of like what Frank was saying, like objects just moving out of place and things that like freaks me out. And I think that this film does that really well.
Yeah.
It does do it really well. I mean, like you said, though, not having the budget, not having all the, what do you want to call it, the special effects that you
Resources,
can
yeah.
do,
very-
resources.
you-
They go with what they have. It's a great setup, and they move, and they just go with this kind of stuff that freaks you out.
I feel like you can do that with horror. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like the genre of movie that you can do the most of, other than just like regular drama or whatever, is horror because you can really play with camera movements and what the audience sees and or does not see, and then the anticipation. And I think they did play with that really
Yeah,
well.
I was-
sure.
The same line, like the creativity for really low budget or close to nothing, you get really, really creative, and a lot of good things can come out of that.
Yeah, because it kind of forces you. It's like, okay, now you're gonna shoot a scene or do something that everyone's seen like 100 times, but like, how are you gonna do it differently? And that's what I always like too with horror. It's kind of just like, well, it's like the filmmaker. Sometimes it's kind of like the main character
Yeah.
of the film.
Yeah, I mean, it was very. I mean, watching it up to a point, it was very compelling. I thought I was always interested, and it was creepy. I mean, up to a place where I'll start talking about something else. But I also wanted to say, didn't what was the director's, the guy who was running it, the head guy's name?
Alex?
Was Alex the main, the guy who was, it was his
It's
company?
Alex and Mac, right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are-
It was
So
their
Alex
company.
was, right.
But the
felt-
show, Alex
He started
Mack.
feeling a bit like Mayor of Amity. For
Yeah.
me. Didn't you
See-
get a little bit Mayor of Amity?
show must
well,
go
we just
on.
still gotta do it
Well,
anyway.
here's
Don't
the
you
thing.
understand?
Here's
We
the
have to
thing.
do this. I'm like, no,
Hold on, Sam
things
has a-
are moving.
Sam's
we
gonna
need
tell
to
you.
leave.
Sam's gonna tell you why.
Actually, I'm gonna pull a Frank.
Actually.
If you watch 2 and 3, you'll find out.
Yeah, that's
So
2 and 3.
Yep.
sorry,
Yes.
can I? Is this where we start ripping the movie apart? Or
you can do that. Feel
Wait,
free at
hold
any
your
time.
thought.
At any
Hold
time.
on.
Feel free at
Okay,
any
because
time.
I-
Hold on.
Before you do that, Camille.
So there's
2
Hell
and
House
3.
LLC 2, Hell House LLC
Why?
3. Just you wait, buddy. So there's
I'm not. These are
I know
not
why.
on our list.
I can
And
tell
then
you
here's-
why.
Yeah.
I read the entire plot summary of 2 and 3 because I was like, is this worth watching?
I
Dan,
don't
We're
remember.
good with one. We're
And
good
full-
with
I
one.
don't remember exactly when they revealed it, whether 2 or 3, but I think Alex
It's
gets
2.
You can
2.
go ahead and talk about it because
This
I'm not
is
going to
what-
watch them.
This is literally what one of the biggest reasons I didn't like this movie
Okay.
is because why do we have to watch a second movie to get all of the fucking plot holes from the first
Yeah.
one?
So it turns out that he was
That's a great
he was
point.
possessed into doing this from the main or the I forgot the character's name. He owned.
Andrew Tully.
There you go. He got possessed by him, and then she watched it
She did the
yesterday.
research.
Yeah.
I did because we're watching this movie and halfway through, like there's stuff that's happening and we're like, okay, they're gonna explain it. And as we're getting towards the end, and like all of us are filmmakers or in the industry, we know the pacing of a movie and when you should reveal information to your audience. And I'm starting to not get information fed to me, and I'm like, okay, this is feeling a little bit weird. And there's that one scene where it's Mac and this other guy and separate, and they're completely talking. He's like, oh, do you think they know? Or blah, blah, blah. And obviously they're not feeding. And my friend and I were making fun of it because we were like, oh, we don't know, but we're about to find out. And then when the movie was over, I was like, not only did we not find out, so then I went to go Google it, and I was like, no, you don't make a sequel to fix the plot holes.
Explain all the shortcomings of your first
What
movie.
you do is you give the audience, you tie up all loose ends, and then you leave it on a cliffhanger so that people want to see your second movie,
See-
not so that they have to see it.
And they did that with the second one, and it got me. Actually, that almost got me more angry. Was how they ended the second film, because the second film ends with a cliffhanger where basically the character's about to leave, and then you meet Andrew Tully, and it's like, you guys just awakened the portal, like everything's
yeah.
going to hell now. I was like, I was very hesitant about watching the second
Okay,
movie.
watch your hands.
And then I watched it, and I'm like, okay, this movie is a little better than I thought. It ended at a cliffhanger. I guess I'll watch the third one. I put on the third movie. An hour goes by. None of the characters from the second movie are in it, and it's a whole another thing where like these people are putting on a live Shakespeare play in the house,
God.
and I'm like, what
I
is
don't
going
remember
on?
that.
And then in the last 5 minutes of the movie, it's like, hey, you remember the cliffhanger from the second movie? Now we're gonna tie everything together in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thank
And
you.
part 4 is now in production.
I just saw
Stop,
that.
really?
Yeah, they're
Yep,
making
yep.
a prequel, and I'm like, guys.
Cool.
First of all,
I guess.
I don't know. It had 75 on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't get it. I was really excited because I saw the 75%
For the first one.
for the first
Yeah,
one,
I
and
did
I was
too.
just like,
Sam, your faces are giving me
But
Sorry.
honestly though,
your
what the
faces are
first-
giving me life. All these different reactions.
But the first,
I
the
don't
first-
even know I'm doing it.
The first 2 acts of the movie, I was good. Mm-hmm. I was good.
Yeah.
I was okay. I was going along with it because I knew,
Yeah.
as you say, Camille, I was going, okay, Act 3, it's all going to get revealed. We're going to know exactly what's going on, and it's going to be worth all this sort of weird, creepy stuff that's going on. It's all going to culminate. I watched Act 3 3 times consecutively.
Just to try to
Kept
figure
going.
out.
Why would you
I-
do that to yourself?
I missed something.
That's
No,
what I
I missed
said.
something. I got to watch it again.
Wait,
I
I'm not going to
literally
be. I'm
was
not going to
like-
play victim. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was literally thinking. I was like, did I miss a scene? Like, did I completely like space out and miss something?
And I wasn't going to lay victim to Frank explaining it all at the end. I'm going, I didn't see that. I was going to make sure I saw it enough times
He
that
combed
nobody
it.
can sit here and
He
go, oh,
combed
what
it.
they meant was, what was
Okay.
supposed to happen was, no,
Dan.
it wasn't there.
I'm sorry, Dad.
well,
That's
Dan-
homophobic.
Wait, so where would you rewind to?
Yeah,
that's
where was
funny.
your
Is
start of
that,
Act?
Dan, is that why the VHS tape was messed up?
I would rewind.
Where was the start of Act 3 for you?
For me, it was where they opened the thing.
Opening night.
Oh,
opening
so
night.
opening night.
No,
Okay, yeah.
Let's say I went back to opening night 3.
Yeah.
Well, a total of 3 times. I went back twice
Makes sense.
to opening night.
Yeah.
To watch the whole thing through.
Well,
You had the express pass. So you can.
I think I needed the express
R.I.P.
pass.
tour.
yeah. Dan, I'm gonna save you from watching the second film.
Well,
And
you
I'm
don't
gonna-
think he's
I
not
don't-
going to
I
watch
don't
it
think he was
anyway.
gonna watch it.
You're not
Going
going to. I know.
to.
I'm gonna.
Thanks,
You
Travis.
said you turned to Frank, but actually, I'm gonna be to be frank.
You need to lay that to
Ba-dum-bum.
rest.
So the reasoning why, the conversation that they have outside is that they tell the character, I guess their company is like, I might have this a little wrong, it's like out of money because they didn't make as much money as they wanted to do the year before.
Makes
so they
sense.
actually don't have permission to film at this hotel. They're totally just went in
But I
without
think
missed
permission.
that
Yeah,
part.
but that you find out
That's
in the second
first,
one.
I
That's
thought
what I'm
we
saying,
got that
yeah.
in the first movie.
No,
Oh, that's
no,
why
no.
he said he's going to save you from watching the second
'Cause
one. That's
that's-
the
you find it out
explanation.
in the second
You
one.
find
Yeah.
that out in the second. That was the conversation they
I
had
wonder
outside.
in the first movie how they got this place
They
to
don't.
do this. That was never explained. Did I
it
just
was
fill
never
the blanks in
explained,
my
and
head?
the guy Alex was always like, I don't want to talk about it, or kind of like just being like dismissive. So I
Shifty.
knew that there was something where they weren't allowed to be there, or something shady was happening. Just because of the fact that he was so dismissive about it. But and then that conversation happened, and I was like, all right,
I feel like that
now
could
there
have
really
been,
is something.
That could have been communicated in the first movie too.
could-
Like
oh.
even like very simply, even like hand waving.
Yeah.
You didn't have to give it too much
And
attention.
Absolutely no reason for you, or is it for the writers or whoever came up with it, for the audience not to know? There's no reason for you not to tell that information to your audience.
Camille, I like this movie, but I'm gonna agree with you on this. And it's even, and I think I'm gonna complain a little more about it because if you look at the release of these films, I think the first one came out in 2015. 3 years later, you got the second one. I think 2 years later is the third. So I'm thinking.
No, it was like literally
Like
a year later. I
so
think.
my thing is like, okay, well, the first one, Shudder produced the second and third one. So I'm like, okay, well, they obviously filmed those back to back. I'm like, well, if that deal wasn't done, I'm like, I don't even think they even, the second one was never guaranteed. So I'm like, I don't think we would have
yeah,
maybe ever
we would
got
have
that
never known.
explanation if it wasn't for Shudder being like, hey,
That makes
we
me even
want
more mad.
content. But that's the thing, because I'm like, that 3-year gap.
I only feel like all these explanations happened because they were able to make a sequel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
they
That's-
did. I think they did the found footage cop out in this movie, where they just kind of went, "Oh, it's found footage. We don't know what actually. All we have is what was shot.
but I feel
can't
like-
explain anything
that's
else."
what
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
That's to me. It was like a total, like it's found footage, so we can totally cop out on what
But
actually
that's
happened.
terrible storytelling.
It's terrible storytelling.
I disagree.
Sorry,
terrible.
that's a terrible narrative. If you're not
It's
gonna,
a terrible narrative.
I'm not gonna. You're expecting me to tell you why you're wrong, right?
I'm hoping you will.
No, you're not wrong.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Frank
I mean, look,
agrees.
I
I'm
overall,
so disappointed.
I won't go get into the scores yet, but overall, I did enjoy large part of the movie. It's just that third act that really goes.
I'm okay with the first 2 acts.
There is one thing
I-
I didn't like in close to the beginning, and it's that scene where they're all at the bar drinking and
Yes.
having a good time. This is going to be really petty, but the reason why I didn't like it is because I zeroed in on all the alcohol bottles being turned backwards so you couldn't see any of the logos. I was like,
oh no,
why would you do that?
You wanna
Just
talk
blur
about-
them out.
You want to talk about alcohol bottles? When they first go into the house or into the hotel and they're in the kitchen, they're like, oh my God, there's so much wine. I can't wait to drink it. Literally, there is not a single cork
Camille,
or liquid in any of those bottles.
You have to remember. Then the character says, "Oh, it must be really old. I don't know if you knew this, but wine gets better with age."
Yeah,
it's like,
I
okay,
saw that.
Mr. Wine aficionado.
But
Thank you,
not
Sam.
only just that, they're like, oh, we can't wait to drink all of this. And I'm like, what are you going to drink? Air? I get it. It's low budget. But you could have at least
Filled it up
filled
with
it
water.
with some food coloring
Yes.
water or anything, because with the light shining through, it was so obvious that those bottles were empty.
Well,
And it made me laugh.
obvious. So the film is supposed to take place in New York, but in that opening scene, when the fire trucks and ambulances are pulling up, every single one has a Pennsylvania license plate.
Oh, you see that?
I thought they were in Pennsylvania.
No, they're supposed to
It's
be in
supposed to be in
upstate
New
New
York,
York, like
upstate
just
New
like
York.
45 minutes away from New York City. But that I'll forgive because there's so many movies that happen like in other states, and half the time the license plates say California, and none of us really pay
The
attention.
movies are lying to us.
Oh, no.
They don't always
My
take place where they
goodness.
say.
This movie was great.
LLC.
Listen, I was always told if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And the
Oh.
fact that
Yeah,
No,
that
and this
doesn't
pod-
work on a
and this
podcast,
pod-
though.
doesn't work on this one, though. I really want to rip it apart.
Camille, you're doing
No,
what
keep
Dan.
going.
You're doing what
Absolutely.
Dan usually does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go,
she
go.
point
Her
to-
list.
as
Fire
I point,
all
I'm pointing,
calibers, all
okay.
calibers.
So that was note 2. The wine bottles are already empty. Note number 1 is when they right before that wine scene. Did y'all notice that horrible fake spider web?
No.
Oh my
Party
gosh.
City.
Yes.
Wait.
It was literally like Party City, and it's like hanging in the worst fake spider web way. I don't know. It was terrible. That was really funny.
I took it too literally. I thought the whole time, oh, that's cool. They already started decorating.
I know,
They
I was
put up
like-
a spider web.
I was
Now,
like,
the-
hey, you guys can use this.
They brought in all those clowns and stuff, right? Those
Yes.
weren't all
Yeah,
there.
they did.
Yeah, they did.
So
they
they brought in all the dummies and
But
all
this
the...
is the first time they walk into the hotel. So
right,
it's,
right, right.
The one
When
that's
they
right
were-
behind Frank. Yeah, that's the one they brought
Oh my
in.
God. When they were decorating with all of those dummies, I wasn't scared because I've been to like haunted houses where it's kind of low budget and you're like, oh, that's obviously a dummy. So in my mind, I'm like, that can't ever be scary, even for someone going to this hell house, quote unquote, LLC.
No wonder they didn't make money.
I will say something.
But when it just randomly moves, appears,
Right.
and then moves, that's kind of creepy.
No, there's still, even if it doesn't move, I will say something. Like, you've worked in haunted houses. I had to do a full walkthrough
was
of
gonna
my
ask you that.
house at the end of the night. Like, we have to just, like, walk through all of it to make sure that there's no damage and everything. And the lighting people had turned off the lights, so I had to do that in pitch darkness with a flashlight.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
And I turned the corner. I'm not going to say which house, but I turned
It
the
was the
corner,
Abaddon
and there
house.
was like literally a dummy that was right there. And I screamed, and I was by myself. And I literally was like, "Nope, I'll do damage reports tomorrow. Goodbye." And I walked out. I was like,
But you were by yourself.
I was by
Yeah,
myself.
just refer to all
God.
mazes as the Abaddon maze.
Right, the Abaddon maze.
I will tell you, one of my...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say one of my favorite moments in a haunted house. I took my son. He was probably about 8, maybe. We went through a haunted house. Actually, it was up here at the where
Where are you pointing?
the military. What do they call the reserve? The Army Reserve. That building. They converted that to a haunted house
Oh,
years ago.
cool.
And when you walked in, the first thing there was this big, luxurious sort of like Victorian couch, and you had this sort of lady, all sort of not really witchy, but kind of spooky, and she tells you this whole story, and this is how it's all going to happen. And right when she gets to one point, these 2 arms come out of the couch, grab her, and suck her into the couch.
I
It
love
was
that.
so cool. And I was like, whoa! And my son was like, we got to leave now.
How old was he?
Like 8. He
He's
was
like,
He's like,
"Yeah, I'm outta
Dad,
here."
we're going.
This
I
wasn't last year. I thought this was last year.
Okay, that's not nice.
No, they. So you got to see all the military experiments come out.
Yeah, exactly.
They left them
All
out.
the failed experiments. Anyway, that's one of my cool
I have a question for you.
haunted
Camille.
house moments.
What's up?
So in the movie, they did a test walkthrough. Did you have to do a walkthrough just to see like the atmosphere of whatever house you were going to be in?
Well, we do one every night. I usually walk through with different members of the crew. We turn everything on to make sure that everything works, and that everything is in, like, systems are checked, and then we can go and do our other things. And then, but yeah, you have to do a walkthrough every day just to make sure that everything works, because sometimes, like, just by turning on the lights, something won't be plugged in properly, or
Or, like
So you
even
just-
as like when you first get placed into a house, did they give you a preview of what it would be like?
So not necessarily. So it depends. All haunts work differently. The ones that I've worked for, they'll either give you like a Bible with all of the notes and stuff like that. And so I've had it where 1 year the house was built by the time I was assigned to it. So it was great because I could go down there and be like, okay, I see each room is this. This is where the lights are. This is where the triggers, blah, blah, blah. But then another year, half of it was not finished yet. So we kind of just did a walkthrough, and I was like, well, I think this is going to be this is going to be that. And then 3 days later, the whole thing was built. So it depends
Gotcha.
when you're assigned or
Okay.
not.
How do you get assigned? For those at home who have no idea what you're talking about, how does this work?
For the company I worked with, they would there's a bunch of different people that apply, and you get hired, and then the higher ups decide, okay, this person will be paired with this person. We're going to put them at this house.
Gotcha.
This person will be paired with. So you train for a few days all together, and I think they see how you mesh and what kind of, and even in your interviews, they see what your qualifications are, and then they kind of just say, okay, I think this person will be really good in this house because there's more of this, or
Sure.
depends.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I would just shit my pants if I work in a haunted house. I'm just saying.
you kind of get desensitized
I was
to
gonna
it.
say I would think
Like
so.
now I walk through haunted houses, and it's very rare that a lot of times scare actors will scare me, because I'll know, because I also design them, I'm like, okay, well, if this was done how I would do it, the person would come from this angle because that makes the most sense, and 90% of the time they do. And you can also stake out a room, like
Yeah.
you look at the props and you're like, well, the only opening for somebody to come out is through that little opening, so you kind
I
of
heard that if you stare in the direction where you think the scare is going to come, and that's the direction that usually they don't pick you because they're going for maximum scare factor. Is that
yeah.
true?
So when I was this character, I would do that. I would literally survey the crowd, because a lot of times, like, it's very tiring of a job, and you have to do things pop out like every 10 seconds, and so you don't want to waste your scare on somebody who's not going to appreciate it. But you can tell that there's a sense. It's like the spidey sense. I don't know, the spidey tingle, a spooky tingle. You just know who is going to appreciate it. And a lot of times it's not like, you always think, oh, the girl's gonna scream. It's like, no, a lot of times it's the big ass dude that's just not expecting it, and they'll try to act all tough, and it's like, sorry dude, I can see right through you.
I love watching that.
It's so fun.
I would have been more satisfied knowing that, like, I made a guy like jump like that.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Me too.
You-
Yes.
you make
Oh, we're
it
still
drop.
talking about a Hanzo. Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
I remember one time, this was like years ago, when they used to still have like, when I was at, I was at Universal, and they had like the Van Helsing maze, and they had it
I
at
did
Permanent-
that.
The
Yeah,
permanent one, right?
Yeah, the
The
permanent
House of
one.
Horrors,
Yeah,
yeah.
now I think it was Mummy, then it was
Yeah. I
Van
did
the
Helsing.
Mummy.
And then it was House of Horrors.
Yeah, so they had at the end with Van Helsing, like you walked into the dark room and like this like werewolf jumped out at you. It was like the
Oh,
final
yeah.
scare. And I remember too, we were there and I was standing at the exit and I heard the werewolf jump out and I just heard this person screaming and they come running out and it's this like big buff dude screaming, running out, and he's there, and then his like little kids and family came out and they're like, you left us in here.
I did the same thing with my
And that's the last time we saw grandma.
she got the scare. I saw it coming, and I was like, nope.
You left her?
Yes. My
Hey.
family was behind her, so they would have picked her up, you know.
All right, it's survival of the
Did
fittest.
you ever do it with camp? Did you ever do it with, when you were working camp?
I have a story, but Sam
I
will go
do too.
first.
We were at a haunted maze in Universal, and this is like our second time going, so we were still kind of scared. And a bunch of our friends, so we were the first two. So I linked arms with them because I was scared. And it was that room where like they used kind of like the laser, kind of the projecting thing that we have here, but it was a complete darkness, and we were blinded by it. And a scare person came out. He got scared, jumped, fell, took me with him, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Get up right now!" He's like, "I can't get up."
Was that the same day when it was like the wall of mirrors and that the person in our group took off running
I
and
think-
ran
I
into the
think
mirrors?
so.
Was it?
I don't. Was it?
I don't-
Was it Evil Dead or was it Exorcist?
I don't
Oh no,
remember.
it was Halloween. It had to be Halloween.
Like, it was Halloween.
It was
'Cause
Yeah, it was
Halloween.
Halloween.
I can tell you that performer was probably like, yes.
Oh yeah.
God. And you probably made their night.
You fed their family for 1,000 generations.
Yes.
What was your camp story?
So it wasn't me, but
Sure.
with the House of Horrors, this one counselor, I will say, I will defend. I'll be honest. I would say it was me. Was like, oh, House of Horrors, that looks cool. So they took the 5 and 6-year-olds.
Oh no.
First, they started the day. That was the first thing they did that day. Was took the 5 and 6-year-olds.
Start them young.
Those parents are still paying.
It wasn't me. I
wasn't.
was stuck at Lucy's lunchbox.
And that's very fun. But no, yeah, that was a story. I didn't go in with camp much.
My only similar story, not 5 and 6-year-olds, but you always have that one kid that's in your group that's just really annoying and just really making the whole day just awful
I
for
could neither
everyone.
confirm nor deny.
So you
Was
know
it
what I'm
him?
talking about. That's the one you take with you into those places. Yes,
Scare
I
'em
did.
straight. You did?
Yes, I did.
That's great. You're doing the Lord's work.
Were they traumatized for life?
One
Not
could
as
hope.
much as I wanted. A lot of
Damn
times
it.
he just was laughing at stuff and
That's me. I'm obnoxious.
being that
Yeah,
goofball.
I remember when we went, and then you kept doing this.
Oh yeah.
Like you kept doing that laugh, and I was like, Frank,
think
I've never heard
That's
you do
just
that
nervous
I think
laughter.
we were at the haunted hayride.
Trust me. No,
No, it was
like,
it was Horror Nights.
it's-
It was the weekend maze.
Oh really?
yeah. Okay, so I've never been into like a modern haunted house. When we went last year, I was nervous going up because I haven't generally liked like live scares. I love horror movies, but actual scares I've always been like, I don't want it. So when we went into the weekend maze, the first few rooms, I was really scared, and then I just like gave in and I started laughing at everything. And it wasn't nervous laughter; it was just like, "This is great."
Yeah, and then
The
I
weekend
it.
I
was
just
fun. It
remember
was
being-
unusual, and it had some random cool stuff. I
I
thought.
didn't think it was gonna be that great. I thought it was just gonna be kind of lame, but it was good.
I
That's
was
one of my
impressed.
favorite ones
Which
that night.
I
one?
had no
talking
idea
about?
what the hell was
The
going on,
weekend,
but it was fun.
horror maze. The weekend,
At,
the singer
Horror
At
Nights
Halloween
last year?
Horror Nights.
the weekend had his own themed
Okay.
horror
Yeah.
maze.
It was long. It was scary, and
That's
the
what
maze
she's-
was also scary.
I was gonna say that's what
It was long and it was scary.
Yes.
And the maze was also scary, is
Wow.
what Frank said.
Wasn't there Killer Clowns that
Killer
year?
Clowns came
There's
back.
Killer
Yeah, it
My
Clowns,
came back.
favorite
yeah.
scare though was the Halloween maze, and it wasn't like a pop-up scare. There's that one hallway that's just all like laundry, like
Oh
hung
yeah,
up.
I love those.
Oh, those are
They
scary.
used
The-
it for Texas
see,
Chainsaw
I was
too.
I was expecting a pop-up scare, but the scare was literally like a Michael actor up ahead, just crossing from one side to the other, like Michael would.
Yeah.
That was my favorite scare. I was like, oh yes,
No, and
give
then
me all of that.
I think one of
It was
the
like
I
being
think
in
you
a
need to get
Halloween
closer
movie.
to your mic.
I am. I was making the story sound like
Oh
it gets
God,
louder as I come in.
excuses, my God.
It's
Is
story
one of my
sound.
favorites too was in I think the one year they did American Werewolf in London, and they had the live transformation happen right in front of you in the maze. I still think it's the cool.
That's cool.
I'm
Yeah,
really sad
it's-
I missed
that's
out
It's
on
very
that
cool.
one, and then the Freddy versus Jason maze.
That Freddy versus Jason maze was awesome, but that American Werewolf in
Yeah.
London was
That was the best maze I
one
think
of the
they've ever
best
done.
mazes I've ever. Yeah.
Do they
That's-
bring back mazes like that?
Well, they did like kind of like Universal Monsters in 2017, I think, 17 and 18, that kind of had like a Wolfman transformation, but it wasn't the same thing. But yeah, that American Werewolf in London, I know exactly what
I
you're
think
talking
that's the
about.
best one.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's also a very good movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
You know what else
Very
is a
good
very
movie.
good movie?
Hell House
Hell House
LLC.
LLC.
Wow, I
wanted
didn't
to-
know that.
I really wanted to bring us back.
No,
But for
so-
those who forgot, we're actually doing Hell House LLC.
Dan, are you seeing now how the title relates to what we're talking
To our
about
guest
today?
speaker?
He still doesn't
guest
get it.
speaker
No.
and
I don't get it.
I feel like I was derailing the
No,
story.
I know, it's great.
Camille, we needed filler time
Yeah.
for sure.
When-
I
when
feel like
we-
we're done talking about this movie.
When we mentioned no moving props, you had this face that you were like, oh, I have something to say.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. No moving props. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my notes. Yeah, so my big thing with the clown that moves, like, that's another thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna go straight for it. None of this movie made sense in the end. There was like random dead people ghosts and not random dead people ghosts. Like, who the fuck was the clown?
I thought I
But
missed
not
something
only
the
one
second.
clown, both clowns. Who the fuck were they both? Because like, there's like the one clown that like that keeps like getting moved and then like and thing like that, and then there's the other one that also moves randomly.
Piano one?
Yeah, like, and it's like, so they never really explain, is this like ghosts, is this not ghosts? Like, I get it's the portal to hell, but like, who's actually moving these
Well,
clowns and
That's
who's
the
doing?
disaster of Act 3.
and
They just
see,
didn't
They never
explain
say anything.
anything.
I think they should have left what and where I really started to feel like that too was the end of 3 when you find out like, oh, the person they've been interviewing the whole time, like it's like, oh, she's a ghost and she left the hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
that's the part I didn't like, because to me I'm like,
First of
they should
all-
have kept
No. Please go. No,
I'm saying they should have kept everything within because it's like, so is this a portal? Like, because I thought it was a portal like sucking people in the basement.
No, it's a portal from hell. So
Yeah.
people from hell were coming out.
Coming out.
Which
But-
I understand the cloak, but I
Where's
agree
the
with
The
all of
first
you
movie
guys.
does not
Where's the
explain any
door?
portal from hell.
That's why. But I mean, it's kind of implied when they were going in the basement.
the implication.
But it never showed a door, or like, do they just
Well,
like I? So
you
I
see the
started.
I think because you've
pentagram
seen
on
all
the
three
wall.
movies, you're,
And that's
you're
what
ahead
I
of
was
us.
gonna
That's just
say.
a wall.
With I understand
agree.
your concerns, but for me, I don't see any of the plot holes because I've seen all three, so that's why I'm not saying anything. But I mean, it's kind of implied that there was like a thing,
Well, no.
and that's why the cloak
I was-
people came out.
So I started reading things after it because I was like, I need to find out more. And apparently, at the beginning, the call to 911 is like, they're coming out of the walls. They're coming out of the walls, and that's supposed to be like a
portal.
like to end the portal. You never see a single fucking person coming out of a wall.
Nope.
They
Like,
didn't
you
they
know
didn't
what?
have the budget for that.
But no, but that you see that's easy to make. Like
I feel
it's
like
just
you could have cheated it in like
you could have
act
cheated
two.
it. Like it's
Like
just
maybe just have like a hand
How
slowly
about-
come out or
Yeah.
something. You know, like there's ways to imply it and then not have to go all out.
if I counted all the fucking plot holes and like took a shot
You'd
for
do a
each
whole
plot
nother
holes,
movie.
I would do a
You
whole
would've
other
blacked out.
franchise, and I would have gone to have my stomach pumped at the hospital. Like, that's like-
How about when they're leaving the hotel and they say, she's in room 2C, and they're like, there's no room 2C. Why, she died 100 years ago.
well, first of all,
That room burned down 25
Well,
years
they're
ago.
staying at the hotel. They would know that the
That is-
doors
and
don't.
then they find 2C inside the hell
Have it
house.
on.
the hell house. But that
Mic
makes
drop.
absolutely no sense
It
either.
was so-
Because in ghost lore, if you think of, I'm thinking of like typical ghost lore. Usually ghosts are restricted to like the
That's-
area they
yeah.
died.
Yes.
So it makes no sense.
But she showed up
for
for the
her-
interview and all the found footage.
And all the I know, and she's like
Just
casually
randomly,
like,
yeah,
I
in a
haven't
bag.
seen any of this, but here's the bag, and I'm a ghost, and I can carry tangible things. Like
yeah.
here,
And I'm going to
look.
hang out
And-
with you guys for an
no,
entire
and-
movie and talk to you about what happened.
Like, I enjoyed the movie. I liked it. That's the only part I don't like because Camille, like you said, they're not supposed to be able to leave. You know, I always imagine if they try to leave, it's like Beetlejuice. It's like the
Yeah,
desert.
yeah.
You get the sandwich. That's the thing.
You
And
have
like,
to say her name 3 times.
Beetlejuice.
it was
Hell
just
House.
I don't know. It just
House
it was a
LLC.
little inconsistent on what was kind of going on. It's kind of like, well, actually everything paranormal can happen. It's like, I don't know. I think it should have stayed a little more grounded. I don't think they needed that twist at the end at all.
No.
With the other people coming into the hotel. It's like, I get it. Like, she shared the video to like pique more people's interest because the hotel wants people to keep coming.
But
I understand.
why? Why does it want people
Because
to
they
keep
need
coming?
us-
hell needs
because-
more.
Because it's a
But no,
portal.
But I'm like
Because I think the
emphasizing
third
another
one is
plot
called-
hole. Like
It explains it in the third movie.
literally,
I will
yeah.
save you from watching the third movie, so I'll tell you everything.
Oh, you
I
want to
don't-
tell you what happens at the end of
No,
the third movie?
You're not supposed
No,
to
I know.
have
Don't,
people
because
watch
it's fucking
15
stupid.
movies
Yeah, the
in
third,
order
Have
to.
you seen all 3 of them too?
No, but I read what happens in the end of the third one, and it's
It's-
some.
I
it's some
forgot what
stupid
happened.
I didn't
shit.
even
Okay.
read because
So
I
at
was
the
like,
end
I
of-
really
Make
want to
this
give
quick.
it.
At the end of the third movie, they basically like release the demons or whatever. So then it does there's a big flashing light, and everyone that ever died, it's like, well, they weren't really dead; they're in purgatory. So now they come back to the house.
I fucking
and they're
cannot.
like, whoa,
Yes.
what year is it? Wow, it's so glad to see you. And then everyone it's like kind of the ending of Close Encounters at the Third
I
Kind.
fucking quit.
And everyone's like, oh, it's so good to see you again, and they hug each other. I'm like, this
Did Francois Truffaut show up? And
someone had the mashed potatoes and they were making haunted
Making a-
houses.
So they just took like the ending of Lost and
Yeah.
did a haunted house version of it.
and
Pretty
it
much.
just and like I said, all this was tackled in the last like 5 minutes, and
See, that's
Kind of like Lost.
then out, yeah. And
I
then,
didn't think about this, but I think that's the thing that bothered me about the third act. As you all know,
Your clitoris.
yes, my clitorius
You-
was big. Okay, so I'm a big lore nerd. So when
Okay.
it comes to lore of any type, I'm like deep into it. Like when we did what was it? It
Krampus.
was no, not Krampus. It was the other one. Violent Night.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that was such
like-
a fun movie.
Right?
Gosh, I loved it.
yeah, it was fun.
It
We
teased
did that
my
movie.
clitorius so good
Yeah,
because
so we
all
call
the
we call that now his
all the implied
clitoris.
lore about Santa Claus. It was like Yes, give me more. This movie did not have like there was no action down
Dry.
there. Yeah, dry as fuck. It's like none, like you say,
It was drier than those wine bottles.
None of the
Oh my gosh.
none of the lore was established, so that we didn't know what to look out for. We didn't know what made sense, what didn't. So it all falls apart. Like that whole setup of, hey, come, like you say, come visit me. Yeah, no, it's open. Just break in and check this place out. Like, what the fuck? What? That was the most contrived setup for a third act I've ever
I
seen.
just feel like they got to the end of Act 2 and they went, okay, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I think they had no
I
idea.
literally have
Pull it out of
nothing.
a hat.
Hey, listen.
Hey, let's just do the found footage thing.
Hey,
You know, where it doesn't
hey,
have to make any sense.
we
Okay,
spent-
cool. Let's go.
We spent a lot of money on these like state-of-the-art spider webs, and
Party City.
just throw everything in the house. Hey, listen, Spirit Halloween just opened up.
Oh god.
And
Okay,
that's what I
let's talk about cast for a second. I recognized a couple of these actors. What else have they done? No,
I did not
really-
recognize
the
anyone.
The one friend I know I've seen.
I
You
in
know
know
where
other
you've seen
things.
them? In one of your auditions.
I didn't
That's
recognize
very
anybody.
possible. That might actually be what it is. No, I recognized not the main guy who was running it, but like his friend. You know, the guy he was
Arguing with, the one that we're constantly arguing.
Like the redhead?
Yeah, the redhead.
Yeah.
I recognize him. I know I've
He
seen
looked
him.
recognizable.
I've
My
seen him in-
husband recognized the
Yeah,
other
like-
guy,
I've
the
seen him in
cameraman.
something. I mean, yeah, the cameraman looked familiar to me too. But this could be TV, whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be a commercial for all I know.
Overall,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
thought the acting was okay.
I
I heard the acting in the sequel sucked.
I thought the
Yes.
acting was okay. I don't think
honestly-
the acting didn't distract from me. I
I
just
don't
kind of
know
went.
if they were just given a bad script or
Yes.
if it was bad acting. Like, it's kind of like sometimes you're like, ooh, is it a bad script? Is it bad acting? Like, you can tell, oh, this is a terrible script, and they did whatever they could. But there, I couldn't really tell.
Well, it might have been
a
a
fine
perfect
line.
marriage between bad
Yeah.
acting and bad writing, but it was not.
One thing I hate about found footage is the shaky camera
I
work.
hate it- I
And
hate it
after
too.
the third act, when everything was going to shit, I was getting nauseous.
Oh, that didn't bother me.
I couldn't do it.
I
Cloverfield, I was fine too. Like, those usually
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Cloverfield. I enjoyed Cloverfield, but
But a lot of people complain about the shakiness.
Yeah,
I have motion sickness
I
in
have
that.
to be right
Like,
with it.
as
It
above,
doesn't
so
always
below.
work for me. Sometimes
I
it gives me a
haven't seen
headache.
that yet.
Oh.
Like, I was not ready for Blair Witch. I'm sorry. I went to see it. Was super excited. Loved the marketing campaign. I think it's one of the most brilliant marketing
Snot
campaigns.
on the
I'm,
camera.
in the
I'm
history of
surprised
film,
you
honestly.
wanted to go watch it.
Oh, I just had
The
to.
one
just
time you
because
went to
it
go
was
wanted to
just-
see a horror movie.
It was such
marketing.
a
It got you.
major.
Yeah, so
to me, it
new.
was just
When-
like I have to see
What
what
were
this is all about.
What were they doing for the marketing?
They invented viral marketing.
They created this viral thing, like it was all real. They
They-
created
yeah,
this
they-
whole grassroots viral marketing through the internet and through just
'Cause
kind
it
of
was
like
the start of
and
the
they-
internet. It
they
was like the
set
start
it
of
off like it was a
YouTube and
real
everything.
thing,
It
that they
was-
really found this footage that really did happen.
and then they released it in parts online.
Right,
Like they
exactly.
were like, so it made it look like people were like, hey, look, like Sam, I just found this video online, and they released it in parts. And I think it even came to where like they had to like take some people had to go to court for something.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then they
wow.
were like, oh no, they actually are alive. They're like
Oh, so
Yeah.
kind of like
right here.
Kind of like Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah.
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 Wow, you beat me
Yeah,
to
but what
it.
happened to those animals? Oh well, we killed the animals.
Yeah.
The turtles, they really died. Sorry.
But anyway, that
Wait,
was
have
my.
you, do you,
Oh, do you not know
have you
about
not heard
this?
about
No.
Cannibal Holocaust?
Oh, this is my
No.
favorite genre to talk about.
It's a found footage movie from,
Cannibalism?
is it the 70s? I haven't seen it
70s.
yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part where they kill animals on
The
camera.
turtles,
and-
they kill
Do
some
you tell
turtles.
this part? I'll So it's like the first found footage movie kind of thing. So in the movie, they go to this island and then they cannibalism. People die, animals die. When the movie comes out, they mark it as a real documentary, like an actual documentary. So somewhere in France, they call the director and like, oh, so you killed these people, or these people got killed and you filmed them and didn't stop. Because no, actually, they signed a contract to disappear for a year. Okay, great, bring them over and to prove that they're actually not, or they're real, and then you'll be free. He's like, okay, so he brought them over and they're like, yeah, we signed a contract. We're not dead. It's like, great, good job. What about the animals? Oh, they died. So then he got sent to jail.
Yeah, we killed the animals.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't care about the fucking people,
No,
but don't kill
absolutely.
animals. That's my biggest thing. I was
Yeah,
like,
same.
absolutely not. You can on screen kill babies, kill whatever you want, children. I don't care. As soon as you kill, as soon as an animal is hurt, I'm like,
I would like them to not kill anybody. Would be
well,
my
that'd be
whole,
nice.
be
Yeah,
my whole
but
thing.
I'm saying on screen, not
If,
in.
if
Oh,
you're
on
faced
screen.
with, all right, save this puppy, or kill this puppy, or kill this person, I'm like, kill the
kill the person, save the
Several
puppy.
times.
I'm
Yeah.
always
Yeah,
like very
so if
curious,
it-
like when they shoot a horse on camera, like when they do like westerns and stuff, you literally see a horse get shot and just go down. I'm always like, I know it's trickery. I know they can do it.
Yeah.
I know they train them, but it's like, wow, that is.
But back in the day, they actually hurt the horses.
Yeah, I know.
No?
That's what's really
They,
sad.
like,
So many horses
dug-
like,
break their
were-
legs and.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like Animal House.
It's horrible.
Well, that's freeze
Yeah.
action. That's
Where
freeze frame.
where they shoot the horse. Yeah, they accidentally shoot
And
the
then
horse.
but that's funny because it's freeze frame.
It's
Obviously
like, what is it?
fake.
The Godfather uses a
The
real horse
horse.
head.
Oh yeah,
But it was from a
right before it
slaughterhouse.
was going to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
yeah. It was.
It was gonna die anyway.
They were gonna use it for dog food, I think, from a dog food factory.
It was probably
Whoa.
easier to use a real horse's head
Yeah.
than to try to make one that looked like a real horse's head.
But yeah, I'm really happy that like as much as like sometimes Pete does a little bit too much, I'm really happy that they put their foot down for movies and being like, no, you
Sure.
guys need to start actually treating your animals like.
Yeah.
Like people.
So, is anybody
Better than people.
game to throw some final thoughts and wrap up this
I
thing?
have more.
Oh, you have more?
I have more. So
Continue. It's not dead yet.
So I put who the fuck is the clown? Too many loose ends. What I explained in the second one. My big thought: why the fucking VHS footage? This was shot in 2008, 2000. I mean, air quotes 2008, 2009. Why is there like VHS like shutter like lines like? Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
Low
Digital
budget.
does not. Yeah, but digital.
ambiance.
I could shoot with my 2007 iPhone and have
iPhone
better
1.
footage than that.
That's true.
That's
actually.
true.
Like,
And if
I
you
get
go
it.
even further, you get image stabilization in cameras, so the whole shaky cam thing won't be useful for much
I
longer.
really do think this is aesthetics.
And they're
Yeah.
not. And,
Yeah, it was a little bit too much.
If
Yeah,
they're
I get
shooting on
you.
a VHS tape, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, they're like the tapes are overriding each other. It's like that's not gonna happen.
It's not the 80s.
So, but Camille, because you were going on, you were saying with the clown. One thing I never figured out in this movie was like, in the beginning when they're like the clown's walking and they're like, oh, is that part of the thing that's kind of lame? And the clown's walking by, that was the guy that pops his eye out, right? The clown
Yeah,
that's
the
just
clown
walking.
that's leaving,
ran
yeah.
That
out.
was real, by the way. That guy can really do that.
That's
Yeah.
That was real.
disgusting.
Because that's my thing. I was like, oh, that's probably just the guy who works here. That's why he's walking by. Then at the end, it's like, no, that's just the guy walking by. Like,
Oh, I thought they were gonna make more out of that too.
I was like, oh, so because the thing is, like, I don't know if he becomes possessed because remember he's like he has the keys and he just leaves her. She's like,
Yeah,
oh, don't
he-
I
leave
thought
me.
he was just scared, so he ran out.
No,
Yeah, that's
because
what
the
I
way,
thought.
yeah, because the way he walks, he kind of walks unless he's trying to keep it together. Yeah, that's me. I was like, I thought there'd be more of a reveal because I thought it was gonna be that like. When they're showing the footage at the end, like you're seeing everything from the angle of the person going through the maze, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna show you what actually happened.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. It's like, no, everything you just saw, you're just seeing it again.
I just want to
But
know where
now
those
it's
cloaked people came
longer.
out of. What door?
Well, if you
Where's
watch
the
the
door?
Well,
From
if
the
you,
wall,
if
from
you watch
inside the
second
hotel.
one,
If you watch a YouTube video of behind the scenes footage that was released on YouTube,
In slow
no, I'm
motion.
just kidding.
You
That is
know,
now
Freeze frame.
gone.
They didn't had they given us just a little bit more, I probably would have said, okay, I'll watch the second one because obviously somebody must have liked it for there to be 4 movies now or fourth
Yeah.
one coming out. I mean,
no expense. I mean,
I
these
mean-
movies cost nothing to make, so I'm sure they made money.
No,
just
and-
because I'm sure the budgets were super low.
yeah, I mean,
And that's what I think to me. It's kind of like it kind of felt like to me like it's like when the second one and the third one came out, Shudder was still in its infancy. So I think they were just like, hey, we can come up with a new franchise. Or remember this movie that came out in like 2015 was a modest hit. Let's just make another one. Kind of like when you watch now they have like I don't know all those straight to video like sequels you've never heard of.
Yep.
I think it's the same thing.
I guess.
Were 2 and 3 theatrically released?
No, they were
No.
just they were straight to Shudder, like a streaming site.
Gotcha. All
But
3
they
of them
were-
were.
No,
The first
2
one
and
came
3.
out.
I don't
Yeah.
think the
I don't
first.
think-
I think
no.
it just made some like
rounds.
rounds in like a film circuits and was like shown in like small little festivals.
Okay.
I don't think it ever got a wide.
Gotcha.
I think we're tapped out on this movie.
I do too.
There's-
I
there's-
want to do final thoughts because I think I'm
Because you
dying
loved
to hear.
it.
I'm not gonna go first.
I'll go first.
Yes.
Okay, go.
I liked it. I think I took it as the face value. I liked things. It was scary, so I enjoyed it. I didn't really think much further of it. So I gave it 3 girls sitting on the bedside out of 5. I'm too lazy to pick up my
I
iPad.
like that.
So yeah, that's my score. It's just simple.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
So you're leaving, or you're gonna?
No, yeah, I'm leaving. My ride's here. The cab you called. I said 5 minutes about an hour ago. No, so when
he'll be right there.
When I told Sam to watch this film and she watched it, it was like probably in like the beginning of like 2021. So like, you know, vaccines had come out. People were getting them.
Where are you
I'm
going
going.
with
I'm
this?
going. I'll tell you exactly where I'm going. So people are like, oh, we can start, you know, going outside again. So Sam and
I know where you're
Going outside again.
well, I mean, like going out,
Cautiously.
like traveling, you know, going, you know.
Things were opening up.
Things were opening up again. That's what I'm trying to say. So Sam and I, you know, we're like, oh, we should do a trip. We should do something. I don't know. We like fell in love with this movie, and we were like, oh, we actually got to take a trip. We got to actually go to the hotel it was filmed at.
It was an actual thing. It was open.
Yeah, it was an actual thing that was open. You can actually visit.
Yeah, like that house.
It's in Pennsylvania
yeah,
or something.
It's like on
I think.
Halloween, it gets turned into a
Yeah, they
haunted
actually
house.
turn it in. Yeah, what
Oh
Sam
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. I think I saw a documentary on this too.
Yeah.
It's called House LLC.
I
Limited
knew,
liability
I knew
company.
It was gonna come
So-
I know
back.
I saw some footage on it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like I said, I
Shit
don't.
went down in 2008,
yeah.
2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was, you know,
On
Never been the
VHS
same.
tape.
after everything that happened in 2020, you know.
The incident.
But wait
Yeah.
a minute, wouldn't you have to fly to go to Pennsylvania
We were gonna
to
do a
see
road
this?
trip because it was COVID.
Dan, I don't get what you're saying. I don't know the connection, but
You've
That's a
never told
long-ass
me.
road
I
trip.
I
asked
don't
you
know
a
what you're
question, then
what
you'll say,
question
"I'll
I-
tell you later."
I don't know what you're asking. I
Have
don't,
you ever been on an airplane?
What does that have to do with flying somewhere?
What the hell
Okay,
is
finish
happening?
No,
it.
I've never been on an airplane.
I'm like
Okay,
a
finish up.
bird, I'll only fly
Okay,
away.
so
I don't know
I
about
got really into
this.
this franchise and then saw the second and third. You know I can tear this film apart. I can say these are all the things that
No,
were
I
wrong.
don't think you
with
can
it.
because you
I'm
really
glad I
like
like
it.
it.
You
No,
don't
and
like
that's what I'm
it.
saying.
I don't know what that
But
was.
you know, it's okay to like a movie. It's okay not to
5
like a
clowns
movie.
out of 5.
You're trying to cut me off. No, but I really like it for whatever reason. When I watched this movie a few days ago, I was generally getting creeped out. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's like I think it's just the uncomfortableness and things happening in the background is always kind of what freaks me out. Kind of like another film, The Strangers. Has anyone seen
I
that
haven't seen
one?
it. I haven't seen
That
it.
is very much not jump scares. It's like there's literally people sitting on couches and you see the killers like just walking in windows behind them. I think the unsettlety and like knowing, I don't know. That
I think it's because it gets you tense.
it gets me tense like when I went camping.
Shut the f-
For sure.
But
I'm gonna ignore that because that joke no longer lives in my
Now you know.
world.
I'm gonna give this movie 4 out
Oh
of
my
God.
I'm
Four?
gonna give it 4 out of 5. We'll never know what happened
That's good. That's a good one.
because
Wow, a
that
4.
line is said when they don't want to explain anything.
I don't know what's funnier, that rating or Dan's face.
Hold
But
on.
I feel like you and I
The
will
rating
agree.
is hilarious. It is the 4 out of 5, but 4.
But I feel like you and I would watch this again.
Oh, I'd totally watch this
Yeah.
again. I'm probably gonna.
That's
I'm probably
fine.
gonna watch
you can
it.
watch anything you want, but
All right, so next week we're covering the director's cut.
Yeah, we are.
okay.
Good thing we didn't watch
So
that.
who wants to go next?
Wait, I have a quick question. What
yes.
time did you watch the movie?
At night. At
Same.
the night times.
And I forgot.
I watched.
I couldn't.
It,
I watched it at 1 a.m.
I watched the
Really?
Yeah.
nightimies too.
I watched it last night,
What time? But I'm sure you were
like
like,
Why-
10:30
what-
p.m.
because I got freaked out, so I couldn't sleep till 5. I was just sitting in my bed.
Oh, I literally passed out after I went right in my bed.
Right when the credits hit.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
like.
I didn't.
I went right
it-
to bed and I was like, I
yeah,
watched a
it
couple
didn't-
TikTok videos and then I was like, all right, good night.
No, I just saw there was a girl sitting on my bedside. I was like, I can't go to
I
sleep.
don't know what it is about this one.
Okay,
There was a girl outside my door, but
so
But she's always been there.
I
She's
guess-
always there.
Hey, Debbie.
Come on in.
I'll go
Frank?
next.
Frank,
No, Frank. Dan.
Frank can go. You know what I'm gonna say.
I
But
can't
I'm not
wait
gonna
for,
be. I'm not gonna
I
tear
can't
up as
wait
much
for-
as Camille is, but I'll be not far behind her. Now that you gave it a 4, I just
he's really
lowered
good
my
at-
score.
Dan, I'm gonna start your review. This is the greatest. This is the greatest movie I've seen since Shopping Mall. This is the Citizen Kane.
I just want to
Oh,
iterate.
Lord,
Like
help me.
I was very critical, but like, I mean, okay, I guess
We're
I
having
guess
fun.
I guess I'll
Yeah,
go.
go,
I guess
go,
I'll
go,
go. I was very critical of this movie, but that's just because like at that point I was fed up. I was like, I'm not watching another 2-3 films. Like this is some bullshit. But the concept was really cool. The idea is there. Now, did it follow through with the execution? No. Have I seen worse? Yes. Would I watch it again? Probably not, unless it's just playing randomly on some TV. I would give it 1.5 to 2 empty wine bottles out of 5.
Nice.
Nice.
I was,
What
I
was
was going to
worse?
do wine bottles, but that's cool.
What was worse than this for you?
Oh my gosh. The Room?
I mean, what
Well,
was
yeah, The Room is a notoriously awful movie.
I couldn't even get through it. I
Oh.
don't know. As far as horror movies that are worse,
Have you seen Grave Encounters?
yes, I love
I
Grave
love Grave
Encounter.
Encounters,
Grave
yeah.
Encounters is amazing.
I hated the last one.
Two?
I only watched the
Oh,
first
Okay,
one.
don't
see-
watch the
So a
second
lot
one.
of times, if it's like horror movies, I won't watch like sequels or stuff like that, just because
You
usually
can't
the
wait.
first one's the
I
better
wouldn't
one.
either, but we were in
For
the
you?
pandemic. I had nothing to do.
Oh,
So
Grave
okay.
Encounters
Yeah, we watched all of
2.
Angel and Buffy.
Grave Encounters 2
just-
does the trope that I absolutely hate that like sequels for found footage will do, where it starts out with some characters watching the first movie and acknowledging,
Human
hey,
Centipede 2.
this is actually just a movie. Let's
Yum.
go to the actual location. Oh no, it's actually real.
And then it's no longer a found footage film; it's an
Yeah.
actual movie
Yeah.
about people. Yeah, it's-
Which is still found footage because they wanted to take a camera with them.
See, it's got 19 layers to
Oh,
it.
But yeah, I feel like
symbolism.
maybe giving it 2 wine bottles is a lot. But I just feel like the concept. I was really excited about the concept, so that's why 1.5 to
Yeah.
2.
For
But
sure.
That's good.
All
Alright,
right,
like,
fell flat.
actually, so what's wrong with it?
So this is why this movie is a masterpiece.
piece of
Thank you,
shit.
Frank. Set us-
Masterpiece of shit.
Masterpiece of shit.
Frank will set us straight now. Oh,
That's homophobic.
maybe.
Hey, Dan,
That was a little
Dan,
homophobic.
you're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about my friend here. Let's go have a talk outside. You're talking to my man all wrong. You got
In
the
the
wrong
snow.
tone.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know
Chaos.
what he's doing. Go
Um,
ahead.
I really enjoyed the first like 2 acts of this movie. I think when the whole part where you have to start explaining stuff, like Camille said, that's where it starts falling apart, and then it kind of does like paint the first half of it in like a different light. Aside from that scene that I mentioned, that like I've never had a movie take me out for such a stupid detail, but the all the alcohol bottles being turned around, it was like, come on.
Yeah,
Come
I didn't even
on.
notice that.
Well, you noticed the wine, so
But I
it's
noticed
okay.
the empty wine bottles.
Yeah.
I
But
think I was still mad about the wine.
that and also
And the spider web.
one of my least in like one of my most hated tropes of found footage is, but we gotta keep recording, man. They did that with no, the show must go on.
Vernon, no?
Yeah.
Leslie Vernon. Got to
Yeah.
keep rolling that footage.
That stuff bothered me. The scares were pretty good overall. Like the feeling, the pacing in those first 2 acts was good, and then it just kind of shit all over it with that stupid like let's go investigate the house, y'all.
Oh, the news.
Stupid.
The
It didn't
journalist.
need it.
Yes.
And that's what I said. That's where I don't like it. The whole reveal at the end. I mean, they could have just ended it with the characters leaving and like open interview, be like, okay, that's the end of the movie.
So would you agree the Act 3 is not good?
It's fine.
Because you gave it a 4.
You know what? And leave me alone.
I
Having
mean, I
said-
was being super generous with my 1.5 too.
I said when I first watched this movie, it was House LLC. What is this? Play. 0 expectations, which is what I think everyone should give going into this.
I think that's also how he scored
Yeah.
it. Hell House LLC 4.
I think so.
So
Eyes
Frank, what are you scoring this thing?
My score, and I think I'm actually, now that I think about it, like as with when we did Scream 2, like
All the
now that
talks.
I've talked it out,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being generous with the score, and it
Also
was higher.
4.
It was higher.
Oh, you brought it down a little?
Yeah, I did bring it down.
What was the original score?
The original score was 3.5.
Nice.
Three?
I'm bringing it down because of quality issues, but I still think it deserves just enough because the first half is watchable.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch it again just to like see what I can pick out, what it did well, so that I could learn from that. I'll give it 3 out of 5 contrived third act setups.
We're getting clever with our items. I like
I think
this.
so. I like it.
Yeah.
I-
But
Yes.
Well, 3.
Go, please. No. Sam has the mic.
thank you. I have a quick question for you. Have you ever, when you're working a maze, have you ever seen someone so enthusiastic to go into a maze before?
Yes.
Like, kind of like the journalist in a way?
Yeah, you have like some people that are like super fans and like are really excited. I mean, most of the time I'm that person. I'm really excited to see what other people put on because it's so fun like to go into somebody else's mind and be like, oh, how did they? So I love it. I've seen people be really excited come in.
Do you ever get like the overly excited where it's like obnoxious, like the
Yes.
everyone, I've done this before.
Absolutely.
Let me show you how it's gonna happen.
you try to
And,
scare
I
people
see
like
you.
Actually, I will stand up for my friend. He's never done that because he actually does get scared and then he falls. But
And can't get back up.
I can't get back
That
up.
was once.
And
And I gave that means a 4.
four.
So, like at the beginning of the movie, when the documentarian was walking around the house, didn't you all expect Leslie Vernon to come jumping out? It was the opening was
Leslie
I
very
did not
similar,
because the
right?
movie.
Leslie Uggams,
Yeah,
or
I
Leslie
did-
Howard, or Leslie Nielsen.
I did not because the movie was called House LLC,
Okay.
which I knew stood for Amaze.
So I'm pretty much in full agreement with what Frank said. I was intrigued by the first 2 acts. And because the first 2 acts were kind of creepy, and like I said at the beginning, I liked how they used these different elements so it wasn't just found footage. So I was really hopeful that all of this would get explained. And I would be going, wow, that is rockin' crazy. And it wasn't. So it went from I'm intrigued to you effing wasted my time. How dare you just use your effing found footage as an excuse to not explain anything that's going on. So so then I went back, watched it again, went back, watched it again, and just got angrier each time.
He did not dare for one of us to correct him. That's why he went back
So-
3
I
times.
did, because you know how sometimes I'll say something, you'll go, Dan, that's not what happened.
Waste of time, LLC.
Waste of time. So, gosh, if it weren't for the first 2 acts that I found really intriguing, I don't even think I'd give this movie a score.
Wow.
Wow.
But
That's the
because of
lowest
that,
score.
I would have been going into the 3rd act with maybe a 3, maybe a little over a 3, hoping for something even better to happen. I'm gonna give it a generous 2.5, only because I did like the premise, I liked the setup, and I do agree. I think there's a real creep factor to it, with the moving of the objects and stuff. That kept me going. 2.5. Bloody clown face dude out of
Eyeballs
5.
popping out.
Eyeballs popping out of 5.
Wow, that's just as much effort as they
Well,
put into
join
that
us
third act.
next week for Hell House LLC Director's Cut, where Dan will be doing a live audio commentary.
I have a question, Frank.
Yeah.
What are we watching next week? Or what are we watching this week to talk about next week, or however it works?
The Menu.
Oh.
I know you've been looking forward to that one. Yeah.
Oh, The Menu. I'm so excited.
I haven't
should
seen
be
it yet.
excited.
I
Haven't seen
it
it.
yet either. And I really wanted to see it in the theater, and I don't know how it got by me. I think I was doing a show.
It was
I
at
think so.
Christmas too. It was like
I
the
thi-
holidays, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it then? Oh,
Was
I
that
think
long
I was
ago?
doing the holiday show. All I know is our friend Brian, he saw it, and because he did the show, and he came to rehearsal and said, "Oh man, you got to see The Menu. It
Maybe
is
we should have him on
so
that show."
much fun. We can do that.
I like how I'm
I think
agreeing. I'm
gonna-
like, yeah.
I think I'm gonna.
Sounds good. Bring
So
it
can-
on.
Call Brian on the phone right
I'm
now.
just gonna
I
go
want you to call him right
My show.
now.
And I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Before we say goodbye, I want to personally thank you, Camille, for joining us.
Woo, thank
You
you.
brought so much anger to this podcast. It was so much fun to hear
Yes.
you.
Come back
I got
anytime.
really heated
anytime.
You ripped,
opinions.
I'm gonna tell you, you ripped Hill House a new one, man. There's a new porthole down there.
Sorry, my expectations were so high for
We-
the concept that I got so upset that when it didn't deliver.
That's what we want, though.
Yeah,
Oh.
because it's you got us who love it, and then you guys who don't. So I feel like it's
It all
it's a
balanced
good
out.
yeah.
When you listen to a podcast, it's just people
You listen to
agreeing
Chopping Mall.
on each
No, no, no.
other. But
We
if people
don't-
just agree,
We don't agree, which is why I love doing this
I
so
think
much.
the only thing we
don't
agreed
agree.
on was like Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
And I
Probably
think here everything
Royale with
everywhere
cheese.
too.
Yeah,
we all
everything
love
everywhere.
that. So yeah, I mean we're good, but I think we want to stray away from the movies that we all know. We all know. Oh, I love this movie. We all love this movie. It's not that interesting to talk about.
If we can traumatize Dan at least once a month, I think we're good.
Speaking
Well,
of
you're
which,
doing a good job.
I
You
would
have done a great job.
I would love for us to do VHS and you come on to that one too.
Yeah.
Ooh, VHS is a good one. I was about to say, did you guys do High Tension yet?
We have
Oh,
not
that's
done
on the
High
list.
Tension.
That's on the
Okay,
list.
we have plans for High Tension, and I know you're going to love this one. We have plans for Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think Martyrs is on there too.
Yes, it is.
So I think we're going to have Camille back.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
I
And
think
then we
so.
got to get Brian on here. And then maybe we'll do everybody. We'll do like a
Well, you
six-way.
should call Brian right now.
Call him.
You want to call him live on the
Yeah.
show? I don't know if he'll answer.
Then
It's
it's 10.
Do you guys
What's he doing?
be like, Brian, I know you haven't heard from me. I'm stuck in a cabin. Don't come rescue me. Just come
Brian,
talk
don't-
about this movie.
Don't rescue me, Brian, please.
He's going to call you and think something's wrong because you don't call people this late, do you, Dan?
He'll probably think I butt called him.
You got to tell him you're live
That's
on
still
the
a
radio.
thing, right?
All right, well, until then, Cammy, I'm sorry, but there's not enough room in this cabin, so you're going to have to go wander outside.
Hang
It's
on.
okay.
I think there's an
Let's
Uber.
get this
Put it on
I
going.
get it. I'll walk in the snow.
No, I got you an Uber, so it's totally
Oh,
okay.
thank you.
Of
Hang on, we
course.
might. This is like
I was about to say, are we
He
doing
sends
Scream? Like,
He
where's the...
he sends you
It's
the
like Kevin and Bean or something.
voicemail right now. Watch.
Brian, do you want to play a game?
Brian's going to answer. I told you not to call this number.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Damn, he sent you straight to voicemail.
Wow.
He's
That's
going to
weird,
text you.
Brian.
Let's leave a voicemail. Oh, we should be
Brian, are you ghosting me? What's your favorite scary movie, Brian? You're live on Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm Camille.
I'm Frank LLC.
Join
And
us next week.
Oh, next week for
The
the menu. We are out.
It'd be awkward if you don't come.
Ew.
I'm recording now.
Hello.
Hey, my friend, everything good?
Yeah, I just got to tell you, you are on the air. I'm just giving you a heads up. We're recording the podcast right now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I left you a message which you might want to listen to.
This is you're helping your friend out. He's on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He's phoning a friend.
He's doing a lifeline.
This is my lifeline.
Oh, man, you called the wrong person.